Queen He stood on the balcony of her palace and looked at the city below. Millions of lights sparkled in the darkness. Somewhere down there, in the lower districts, a human doctor was treating the poor and forgotten. She had heard stories about him for months. His name was Jinwoo. He ran a small clinic near the refugee camps. People said he never turned anyone away. He treated warriors, traders, and even criminals with the same gentle care. This confused many people. Humans were supposed to be aggressive and territorial, but Jinwoo seemed different. Hei decided to see him herself. She wore simple clothes and took no guards. She walked through the narrow streets until she found the clinic. It was a small building with peeling paint. Inside, dozens of people waited on old benches. Jinwoo was tall for a human with kind eyes and tired hands. He moved from patient to patient without rushing. When an old woman could not pay, he smiled and waved her money away. When a child cried, he made funny faces until the child laughed. Hei watched him for an hour. Then she approached with a fake injury to her hand. Jinwoo examined it carefully. His touch was gentle. He bandaged it even though he probably knew she was not really hurt. He did not recognize her as the queen. "You should be more careful," he said softly. "Even small wounds can become serious." She came back the next day, and the day after that. Sometimes she helped clean the clinic. Sometimes she just watched him work. They began to talk during quiet moments. Jinwoo told her he left Earth 20 years ago. He said he wanted to help people. He said he had seen too much suffering and wanted to heal it. "What did you do before?" she asked one day. Jinwoo's eyes grew distant. "I made mistakes, big ones. Now I try to fix them one patient at a time." Over the weeks, Hei fell in love. Not with a warrior or a prince, but with a simple man who cared about everyone equally. She finally revealed who she was. Jinwoo did not bow or change how he spoke to her. He just smiled sadly. "A queen should not waste time with a nobody like me," he said. "You are not a nobody," she replied. "You are the best man I have ever met." Her council was horrified when she announced her decision to marry him. Her generals called Jinwoo weak. Her advisors said humans could not be trusted, but Hei refused to listen. She loved him, and that was enough. The wedding was small and simple, just as Jinwoo wanted. He refused every title and position she offered. He only wanted to continue working at his clinic. Some people whispered that he was using her. Others said he was too soft to be a royal consort. Jinwoo ignored them all. He had two close friends, ran a repair shop 3 blocks from the clinic. He was older than Jinwoo, with gray in his hair and scars on his hands. He fixed everything from broken communicators to damaged ships. People said he could repair anything. The other friend was a young woman who worked as Jinwoo's medical assistant. She was quick and smart, always knowing what Jinwoo needed before he asked. She rarely smiled, but she was fiercely loyal to Jinwoo. Hei found both of them strange. They moved like dancers, graceful and controlled. Sometimes she caught them watching the streets as if expecting danger. When she asked Jinwoo about them, he just said they were old friends who followed him from Earth. Life settled into a pleasant rhythm. Jinwoo lived in the palace but spent his days at the clinic. Hei ruled her empire and visited him when she could. In the evenings, they walked in the gardens and talked about everything and nothing. He made her laugh with stories about difficult patients. She told him about the challenges of ruling billions of people. One night, a military commander challenged Jinwoo at a state dinner. The commander was drunk and angry that a human had married the queen. "You are weak," the commander spat. "You know nothing of honor or strength." Jinwoo stood calmly. "You are right, I am just a doctor. I know about healing, not fighting." The commander laughed and walked away. The other guests whispered. Some felt sorry for Hei. Others admired Jinwoo's patience. But Hei saw something in Jinwoo's eyes for just a moment. Something cold and hard like steel under silk. Then it was gone and he was smiling gently again. 6 months passed. The empire was peaceful. Jinwoo's clinic helped thousands of people. Hei thought she knew everything about her husband. She thought his gentleness was all he had. She thought his past mistakes were probably small things like everyone makes. She had no idea how wrong she was. Late one night, she found Jinwoo standing alone in the garden, looking at the stars. He seemed sad and far away. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I am thinking about the people I could not save, and hoping I never have to make those choices again." She did not understand what he meant. Not yet, but she would soon. Very soon, everything would change, and the humble physician would show his true face to the galaxy. The state dinner was supposed to be a celebration. Representatives from 12 systems had come to honor Queen Hei's birthday. The great hall was filled with music, laughter, and the smell of exotic foods. Jinwoo sat beside Hei, uncomfortable in his formal clothes. He smiled politely at the guests but looked like he wanted to be back at his clinic. Everything changed in 1 second. The lights went out. Screams filled the darkness. When the emergency lights came on, 6 figures in black armor stood in the hall. They carried plasma weapons. Their leader pointed at Hei. "The queen dies tonight," the assassin said. "The empire will have new rulers." Hei's guards moved, but they were too slow. The assassins fired. 3 guards fell. Panic spread through the hall. Guests ran in every direction. More shots lit up the room. Jinwoo grabbed Hei and pulled her down behind the table. A plasma blast hit the wall where her head had been. The stone melted and dripped like water. "Stay down," Jinwoo said. His voice was different, harder, colder. One assassin jumped over the table, weapon aimed at Hei. Jinwoo threw himself between them. The plasma blast hit him square in the chest. He fell backward, smoke rising from the wound. "Jinwoo!" Hei screamed. But Jinwoo did not stay down. He rolled to his feet faster than should be possible. The wound in his chest was already closing, the burned skin healing before her eyes. Hei stared in shock. What happened next was too fast to follow clearly. Jinwoo moved like liquid lightning. He grabbed the assassin's weapon and twisted. The weapon fired into the ceiling. His other hand struck the assassin's throat. The armored figure dropped, gasping. 2 more assassins turned their weapons on Jinwoo. He was already moving. He rolled under their shots, came up between them, and struck them both in rapid succession. 1 in the knee, 1 in the chest. Both fell. The remaining 3 assassins fired together. Jinwoo grabbed a fallen table and used it as a shield. Plasma blasts tore holes in it, but he kept moving forward. When he was close enough, he threw the burning table at them. In the confusion, he disarmed one assassin with a move so fast it blurred. He used that weapon to shoot another assassin's gun from his hand. The 3rd assassin tried to run. Jinwoo threw a piece of broken metal. It hit the assassin's leg with perfect aim. Within 30 seconds, all 6 assassins were on the ground, wounded but alive. Jinwoo stood among them, breathing hard. Blood covered his shirt, but the wound was completely healed. Not even a scar remained. The hall was silent. Everyone stared at the gentle doctor who had just defeated 6 armored killers with his bare hands. Then Jinwoo's eyes rolled back. He collapsed to the floor, unconscious. The healing and fighting had drained all his energy. Palace guards rushed in moments later. They secured the assassins and carried Jinwoo to the medical wing. Hei followed, her mind spinning with questions. 2 things happened while Jinwoo was unconscious. First, an arrived at the palace. They appeared within 5 minutes of the attack, though the palace was across the city from their homes. Both carried military-grade weapons. Both moved through the halls with the confidence of trained soldiers. When guards tried to stop them, they showed identification cards with clearance levels that made the guards step aside immediately. Second, Hei's intelligence chief brought her a disturbing report. The medical clinic where Jinwoo worked was built on top of an old military bunker. The bunker was sealed with locks that required the highest security clearance to open. Even stranger, all records about the bunker were classified above the Queen's own access level. "Who has higher clearance than me?" Hay demanded. "No one in the Empire," the intelligence chief said carefully. "These are Earth military codes, human protocols. We cannot break them." Jinwoo woke 12 hours later. Hay sat beside his bed and stood by the door like guards. "Your Majesty," Jinwoo said weakly, "I am sorry you had to see that." "What are you?" Hay asked. Her voice was calm, but her hands shook. "Humans do not heal like that. Humans do not move like that." Jinwoo sat up slowly. He looked at and they nodded and left the room. "I am still just Jinwoo," he said. "The man you married, the doctor who wants to help people." "Do not lie to me," Hay said. "Not anymore." Jinwoo was silent for a long moment. "Humans have many abilities that most aliens do not know about. We heal faster. We are stronger than we look. Our reflexes are quicker. These things are normal for us, but we hide them because other species find them frightening." "That is not the whole truth," Hay said. "No," Jinwoo admitted. "It is not, but it is all I can tell you right now. Please, Hay, I left my old life behind for good reasons. Let the past stay buried." Hay wanted to demand answers. She wanted to order him to tell her everything. But when she looked into his eyes, she saw genuine pain. Whatever he was hiding, it hurt him to remember it. "Promise me something," she said. "Promise that you will never lie to me again. When the time comes when I need to know, you will tell me the truth." "I promise," Jinwoo said. She left him to rest, but she could not stop thinking about what she had seen. The bunker under his clinic, the military weapons his friends carried, the way he moved like he had trained for decades to kill efficiently. Who was her husband really? And what was he hiding in that sealed bunker? 3 weeks later she would get her answer, but it would not come from Jinwoo. It would come from the stars themselves, bringing war to her doorstep. The emergency alarms woke Hay in the middle of the night. She ran to the command center, still in her sleeping clothes. Her generals were already there, staring at the holographic display with pale faces. "What is happening?" she demanded. "The Dominion, Your Majesty," General said. His voice shook. "They have invaded. 3 border worlds are already gone." Hay stared at the display. They were not supposed to be a threat. They were a distant empire, far across the galaxy. But now their war fleet blazed across space like a fire consuming everything. The reports came in fast and terrible. The colony world of Tau 5 destroyed in 4 hours. The mining stations at Prime reduced to floating debris. The military outpost at 7 overrun before they could even call for help. "How many ships do they have?" Hay asked. "Our scouts count over 800, General said. Led by War Master himself, he has never lost a battle. Send the 3rd and 5th fleets to intercept them." "We already did, Your Majesty. They were destroyed yesterday." The room went silent. The Empire had ruled this region of space for 200 years. Their military was supposed to be unbeatable, but they were cutting through them like a hot blade through ice. Days turned into a nightmare. Every strategy they tried failed. They predicted their moves and countered them perfectly. More worlds fell. Refugees flooded toward the core systems. Fear spread like a disease. On the 5th day, the fleet reached the outer defense ring of the throne world. If they broke through, the capital would be next. Hay called an emergency war council. Every general, every admiral, every strategic mind in the Empire gathered in the war room. They argued for hours. Some wanted to evacuate the outer colonies and focus on defending the core worlds. Others wanted to launch suicide attacks to slow the advance. Nobody had a plan that would actually win. Jinwoo sat in the back of the room. He had come because Hay asked him to, but he said nothing. He just listened and watched the holographic battle maps. General was speaking. "We must abandon the colonies, pull our forces back to the inner ring. It is our only chance." That means leaving 20 billion people to die, another admiral protested. Better than losing the entire empire. The argument grew louder. He felt helpless. Every choice seemed to lead to disaster. Then Jinwoo stood up. The room did not notice at first. He was just the queen's human husband, after all. But he walked to the holographic display with a confidence that made people turn to look. "May I?" he asked He. She nodded, confused. Jinwoo studied the battle map for a moment. Then he began to speak. His voice was different now. It carried an authority that made even the generals go quiet. "They are using a modified version of human military doctrine from the Unity Wars," he said. "Specifically, the hammer and anvil strategy with a void dragon formation for fleet movement." General frowned. "How could you possibly know that?" Jinwoo ignored him. He pointed to the fleet positions. "See here, their supply lines are stretched thin. They are moving fast to maintain psychological pressure, but it makes them vulnerable. And here, this forward battle group, it is deliberately exposed. They want you to attack it." "Nonsense," General said. "You are just a doctor. What do you know of war?" Jinwoo turned to look at him. The general took a step back. Something in Jinwoo's eyes was hard and cold as deep space. "I know that in 14 hours they will feint toward the system, then swing around to hit the fuel depots at 3. After that, they will split their fleet and attack from 3 directions simultaneously. Your defenses will collapse in 36 hours. "How can you know this?" He asked quietly. "Because I have seen this strategy before. I know how it works. More importantly, I know how to break it." General started to argue, but He held up her hand. "Let him speak." For the next hour, Jinwoo explained the strategy in detail. He pointed out weaknesses nobody else had seen. He predicted their next 5 moves. The generals listened with growing amazement and fear. Everything he said made perfect sense. "How do we stop them?" He asked. Jinwoo was quiet for a moment. "I need to make some calls, to Earth, to people I hoped I would never have to contact again." Before anyone could respond, the war room doors opened. Walked in. He was not wearing his usual repair shop clothes. He wore a black military uniform with insignia that made the generals stare. It was a human naval uniform, but not like any civilian would wear. "Your Majesty," said, bowing to He, "the rest of the team has arrived. We are ready for deployment." "What team?" He demanded. "Deployment for what?" Through the war room windows, she saw a ship landing on the palace platform. It was sleek and black, with design elements she had never seen before. It moved with a grace that made her fleet ships look clumsy. Weapons bristled from its hull, but they were retracted, hidden until needed. 3 people got out of the ship. Even from a distance, He could see they moved like predators, like soldiers who had seen real war. She turned to Jinwoo. Her voice was very quiet and very dangerous. "Who are you really?" Jinwoo looked at her for a long moment. She saw pain in his eyes, regret, but also acceptance. "I need to show you something," he said. "Come with me, please." He led her out of the war room, and the 3 newcomers followed. They went down, deep into the city, to the medical clinic, to the sealed bunker underneath. Jinwoo placed his hand on the lock. It glowed blue, reading his DNA, his retinal pattern, his voice pattern. The massive doors opened with a hiss of air that had been sealed away for years. Inside was a museum of war. Weapons lined the walls. Medals and decorations filled display cases. Battle flags hung from the ceiling, scorched and torn. Holographic displays showed battles, strategies, victories, and defeats. In the center of the room stood a statue of a man in a naval uniform. The face was Jinwoo's, but younger and harder. "My name is Jinwoo Park," he said softly. 20 years ago, I was an admiral in the Earth Defense Fleet. They called me the Phantom of the Void. I commanded humanity's forces during the Unity Wars." He stared at him. The Unity Wars, but those were Earth fought 3 empires at once. You were outnumbered 50-1. Yes. Humanity won. Yes, Jinwoo said. We won, I made sure of that, but the cost. His voice broke. Billions died on all sides, so many people. I gave orders that killed worlds. I used strategies that made my enemies call me a monster. I won the war, but I lost my soul. He walked to the statue. When it ended, I disappeared. I changed my name, my identity, everything. I came here to heal people instead of killing them, to save lives instead of ending them. I wanted to be someone better, someone clean. Hei's mind was racing. The Phantom of the Void. She had heard the name before in classified military histories. A human commander who turned the tide of an impossible war through genius and ruthlessness. Why did you hide this from me? She asked. Because I love you, Jinwoo said simply. And I did not want you to see me as what I was. I wanted to be the man you thought I was, just a doctor, just someone trying to help. One of the newcomers stepped forward. She was tall and strong, with calculating eyes. Admiral, the situation requires immediate action. The fleet will breach the defense ring in hours. Jinwoo closed his eyes. When he opened them, Hei saw the change. The gentle doctor was gone. In his place stood something else. Something dangerous and brilliant and completely focused. Prepare the ship, he said. We are going to end this. He turned to Hei. I need access to your military codes, and I need your flagship. What I am about to do will either save your empire or destroy it completely. Do you trust me? Hei looked at the man she married, the humble physician who had stolen her heart, the legendary admiral who had won an impossible war. They were the same person. Both were real. Yes, she said, I trust you. Show me what the Phantom can do. Hei followed Jinwoo deeper into the bunker. The 3 newcomers introduced themselves as they walked. Min was a master engineer with gray hair and steady hands, was a cyber warfare specialist, young but with eyes that never stopped analyzing everything. One moved like a shadow, an infiltration expert who could slip through any security. They gathered around a large table covered with holographic displays. Jinwoo activated them with a wave of his hand. Status report, he said. His voice had changed completely. This was not the gentle doctor. This was a commander who expected instant obedience. The ship is fully operational, Admiral said. All systems at peak performance. Has the weapons systems ready. We can launch in 20 minutes. Good. Min, I need modifications to the sensor array. Can you make our ship appear as 3 different vessels on enemy scanners? Min smiled. Give me 15 minutes. You have 10. I need you to crack the communication codes. I want access to their encrypted channels. Already done, sir, said, pulling up screens of data. I have been monitoring them since we arrived. Their security is good, but not good enough. Jinwoo nodded. He turned to one. I need you on the command ship. Can you get inside? One did not even blink. Yes. Good, prepare for insertion. Jinwoo studied the battle map, his eyes moving across it like a predator studying prey. Hey, I need to explain what I am about to do. He pulled up historical records. Images of old battles filled the air around them. 20 years ago, humanity fought the Unity Wars. Earth was attacked by 3 empires who wanted our planet and our resources. We were outnumbered, and nobody thought we could win. The images showed massive fleets, burning worlds, and desperate battles. I was young, only 28 years old, but I was good at war, maybe too good. I studied every battle in history, human battles, alien battles, everything. I learned that war is not just about firepower. It is about psychology, fear, doubt, making your enemy defeat themselves. He showed them a specific battle, the Battle of Broken Horizon, 12 human ships facing 600 alien vessels. This was my most famous victory. I had 12 ships against 600, impossible odds, so I changed the game. I made them think I had an entire fleet. I used false sensor readings, decoy transmissions, and psychological warfare. I made them paranoid, made them see threats that did not exist. They started shooting at shadows, at each other. The holographic battle played out. The alien fleet fell into chaos, fighting phantom enemies while the real human ships struck from unexpected angles. In the end, they destroyed themselves. My 12 ships survived. All 600 of theirs did not. Hay stared at the display. That is brilliant and terrifying. Yes, Jinwoo said quietly. I was very good at being terrifying. That is why I ran away when the war ended. I did not want to be that person anymore. He looked at her and his eyes were sad. But now your empire needs me to be him again. One more time. Hay took his hand. The man I love is still in there. I can see him. Do what you must do. Save my people. But promise me you will come back to me. The real you, the doctor, not the weapon. I promise, Jinwoo said, if I survive this. Spoke from the doorway. She had been silent until now. Father, the ship is ready. Hay blinked. Father. Jinwoo nodded. Is my daughter from before the war. Her mother died during the conflict. Joined the military at 16, forged my signature to enlist. By the time I found out, she was already one of my best tactical officers. His face was expressionless. We have work to do. They moved to the ship. It was called the Starlight's Edge, Hay's personal flagship, but Jinwoo's team had modified it in ways that made it barely recognizable. New weapons, new engines, new systems that hummed with power. Jinwoo laid out his plan in the ship's briefing room. It was insane, suicidal, impossible, and maybe just crazy enough to work. We take one ship behind enemy lines, he explained. We provoke War Master personally, make him chase us, is proud and arrogant. He has never lost a battle. If I challenge him directly, he will not be able to resist. One ship against 800, Hay said. You will be destroyed. No, Jinwoo said with absolute confidence. We will make him think he is destroying us, but really we will be leading him into a trap. Men will rig the asteroid field with improvised explosives. We will lure the fleet into it. Meanwhile, one will be on their command ship, shutting down their fleet coordination. When they chase us into the kill zone, your main fleet will hit them from 3 sides. They are not stupid, General protested. He had followed them to the ship. They will see the trap. No, they will not, Jinwoo said, because they will be too busy being terrified. I am going to use old Earth psychological warfare, ghost transmissions, sensor anomalies, messages that make no sense. I will make them paranoid and off balance. By the time they realize it is a trap, it will be too late. He turned to Hay. I need volunteers for my crew, 12 people who are willing to possibly die. I will go, Hay said immediately. No, Jinwoo said firmly. Your empire needs its queen. If I fail, you must lead the evacuation. Promise me you will stay safe. They argued, but Jinwoo would not change his mind. Finally, Hay agreed. She gave him the access codes he needed. She assigned 12 of her best officers to his crew. She kissed him one last time before he boarded. Come back to me, she whispered. I will try, he said. The Starlight's Edge launched from the palace. Hay watched it disappear into the stars. Around her, the palace staff prepared for the worst. If Jinwoo's plan failed, they would evacuate the throne world. But Hay had faith. She had seen something in Jinwoo's eyes, a terrible, brilliant focus. The Phantom of the Void was not just a name. It was what he became when he went to war, a ghost that haunted his enemies' nightmares. She returned to the war room. The holographic displays showed the fleet approaching the defense ring. In a few hours, they would break through. Unless Jinwoo's impossible plan worked. On the Starlight's Edge, Jinwoo sat in the captain's chair. His team moved around him with practiced efficiency. At navigation, at weapons, men at engineering, at communications, one preparing for her infiltration mission. Jinwoo closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He felt the old familiar feeling settling over him. the cold clarity of war, the chess master's mind that could see 50 moves ahead, the ruthless willingness to sacrifice anything to win. He hated this feeling, but he needed it now. "All stations report ready," Admiral said. Jinwoo opened his eyes. They were hard as diamonds. "Good. Open a channel to the command ship. Let War Master hear my voice." "Channel open, sir." Jinwoo smiled. It was not a nice smile. "War Master, this is Admiral Jinwoo Park of Earth. You probably have not heard of me, but you are about to learn why they called me the Phantom. Come and catch me if you can." He cut the transmission. "All ahead full, take us into the void. Let the hunt begin." War Master sat on his command throne and stared at the message. A human, a single human on a single ship challenging him, had conquered 47 systems. He had destroyed countless fleets, and now this insect dared to mock him. "Track that ship," he ordered. "I want it destroyed." "Sir, it is just one vessel," his second officer said. "Shall we send a patrol squadron?" "No," said his pride stung. "I will personally crush this fool. The entire fleet will pursue. I want this human to watch his doom approach." It was exactly what Jinwoo wanted. The Starlight's edge raced through space with the entire armada behind it. 800 warships chasing one small vessel. From the throne world, it looked like suicide. But Jinwoo was smiling. "Start the first wave," he said calmly. His fingers danced across his console. Throughout the fleet, strange things began to happen. Sensors detected ships that were not there. Communications filled with eerie whispers and screams. Navigation systems reported phantom obstacles. The crews grew nervous. Their scanners showed enemy vessels appearing and disappearing randomly. Ghost transmissions came from empty space. Some claimed to hear voices speaking in dead languages. "What is happening?" demanded. "Unknown, War Master. We are detecting multiple anomalies, sensor ghosts, communication interference." "It is just a trick," snarled. "Ignore it, keep pursuing the human ship." But the tricks continued. The fleet started to spread out, each ship watching for threats that did not exist. Their perfect formation began to break apart. Min reported from engineering. "We are approaching the asteroid field, Admiral. The explosives are armed and ready." "Good. How are our weapons?" "Fully charged, Father. Ready to fire on your command." Jinwoo watched the tactical display. The fleet was following exactly the path he predicted. They were angry, confused, and focused entirely on catching his ship. They did not see the real trap closing around them. "Take us into the field. Make it look like we are trying to hide." The Starlight's edge dove into the massive asteroid field. Rocks the size of cities floated in the darkness. The fleet followed without hesitation, too angry to be cautious. That was their first mistake. On the command ship, one moved through the shadows like smoke. She had infiltrated during a supply transfer hours ago. Now she crawled through ventilation shafts, invisible to their security. She reached the main computer core and attached a small device. "Package delivered," she whispered into her communicator. "Ready on your signal, Admiral." "Stand by," Jinwoo replied. The fleet entered the asteroid field in pursuit. Hundreds of massive warships squeezing into narrow passages between the rocks. They were packed together, unable to maneuver properly. That was their second mistake. "Now, Min," Jinwoo said quietly. Min pressed a button. Throughout the asteroid field, the explosives he had planted detonated. Massive rocks shattered and flew in every direction. The fleet found itself in a deadly maze of flying debris traveling at incredible speeds. Ships collided with asteroids. Debris punched through hulls. The neat formation dissolved into chaos. "One, execute," Jinwoo ordered. On the command ship, one activated her device. The fleet's coordination systems crashed. Ships could not communicate with each other. Navigation went offline. Weapons targeting failed. In the confusion, They started firing at each other, thinking the sensor ghosts were real enemies. Now, Jinwoo said to, signal the fleet. Tell them to attack from vectors 7, 12, and 19, just as we planned. Hei's main fleet had been hiding behind a nearby moon, waiting for this moment. They dropped from stealth and accelerated toward the fleet at full power, 300 warships hitting from 3 directions at once. They were trapped. Asteroids in front, ships on 3 sides, their own systems sabotaged, unable to coordinate. It was a perfect kill zone. War Master finally understood. This was not a chase. It was a trap. The human had led him here deliberately, destroying his fleet with strategy and deception. Retreat, ordered, all ships retreat. But it was too late. The fleet tore into them. The Starlight's Edge turned and joined the attack, its weapons firing with devastating accuracy. Targeting was perfect. Every shot counted. The battle lasted 3 hours. It was not a battle, really. It was a slaughter. The fleet broke apart trying to escape. Some made it, most did not. Its command ship took a direct hit to its main reactor. One had already escaped in a small pod. She watched from a distance as the massive warship exploded in a brilliant flash. When it was over, 600 ships were destroyed. The remaining 200 fled in disorder, running back across the border at maximum speed. They would not return. The throne world erupted in celebration when the news arrived. Hei stood on her balcony and watched people dancing in the streets. They were safe. The Empire was saved. The Starlight's Edge returned 12 hours later. Jinwoo walked down the landing ramp, exhausted but alive. His crew followed, equally tired. They had won an impossible victory with only 2 casualties and minor damage to the ship. Hei ran to him and threw her arms around him. "You did it. You actually did it." Jinwoo held her tight. "We did it. Your fleet, my team, all of us together." The celebration lasted for days. Jinwoo was offered medals, titles, position as Supreme Admiral of all forces. He refused everything. "I am not a military man anymore," he said firmly. "I did what was necessary, but now I want to go back to my clinic, back to healing people." The generals protested. The council argued, but Hei understood. She made one compromise with him. "You can return to your clinic," she said, "but you will also serve as my personal military advisor. When threats arise, I need your mind, your experience. You do not have to command fleets. Just help me protect our people." Jinwoo thought about it for a long time. Finally, he agreed. "But only in emergencies. The rest of the time I am just a doctor." "Deal," Hei said. News of the victory spread across the galaxy. Everyone learned that the Queen's humble human husband was actually the legendary Phantom Admiral, the warrior who won the Unity Wars, the strategic genius who destroyed an entire fleet with just 1 ship. Other aggressive empires that had been eyeing territory suddenly changed their minds. Nobody wanted to face the Phantom. The border disputes quietly resolved themselves. Peace came to the region. 6 months later, Jinwoo was back at his clinic in the lower districts. He wore his old doctor's coat and treated patients from morning to night. Refugees, poor workers, everyone was welcome. Hei visited him one evening. She sat in his small office and watched him finish his paperwork. "You are happy here," she observed, "more than you would be in a palace or on a warship." "Yes," Jinwoo said simply, "this is who I want to be, not what I was." "You are both," Hei said gently. "The healer and the warrior, you do not have to choose." Jinwoo looked at his hands. These hands had given orders that killed millions. These same hands now saved lives every day. "I am trying to balance them, to use what I learned in war to create peace." "You are doing well," Hei said, "better than you think." Outside the clinic and kept watch. They had returned to their normal lives too, ran his repair shop, assisted Jinwoo with patients, but they stayed alert, always ready. because the galaxy was a dangerous place and sometimes the Phantom would need to return. But for now, there was peace. Jinwoo treated a young child with a broken arm. The child was brave and did not cry. Jinwoo wrapped the arm carefully and gave the child a sweet. "You are very brave," he told the child. "Braver than many warriors I have known." The child smiled and left with her parents, who bowed deeply to the human doctor. Hey watched this and smiled. "You really are just a doctor now, are not you?" "I am trying to be," Jinwoo said. "Every day I am trying." That night they walked together through the garden under alien stars. Jinwoo held Hei's hand and felt at peace for the first time in 20 years. He had made terrible choices in war. He had done things he regretted. But now he was trying to make up for them, one patient at a time. The humble physician and the legendary admiral, both were real, both were him. And maybe, just maybe, he could learn to live with both parts of himself. The galaxy knew the truth now. The Queen of the had married the Phantom of the Void, but Hei saw deeper. She had married a man trying to find redemption, a warrior learning to be gentle, a destroyer learning to create. And that man was more valuable than any admiral or legend could ever be. In the darkness at the edge of the system, sensors detected unusual movement. Unknown ships watching and waiting, but they did not approach. They had heard what happened to the. They knew the Phantom protected this place now. And so they left, looking for easier prey elsewhere. On the balcony, Jinwoo and Hei stood together, unaware of the danger that had passed. They were simply two people who loved each other, enjoying the peace they had fought so hard to protect. "Thank you," Hei said, "for saving my people." "Thank you," Jinwoo replied, "for seeing the man I want to be, not just the weapon I was." They stood together under the stars, and for that moment everything was perfect.